Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's Rich. All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is gonna be really kick-ass. I can say that because I know. All right, so look, people always want to talk about the process of drawing comics. So I had a guy yesterday, I think his name is Marcos. What's up, Marcos? He's a Patreon peep. So yeah, he was asking me about storytelling and page layout. And look, this is going to look very familiar to many of you aspiring pencilers and pencilers who already draw. It's called a blank page, and it sucks. Well, it's got a lot of potential, but it can be intimidating. And the reality is you're going to be filling 20 of these up with good loving for your readers. And so he was asking me, he sent me 2 pages of his work. They were nice, they definitely needed work. But I'm super picky and I look at way too much of like the really, really good stuff. So for me, the bar in my mind is set very, very high of what is like great storytelling. So, look, even for me, when I draw stuff, I'm like, come on, dude. You think Mark Silvestri would draw a page like that? He'd blow this out of the water. So I get it. But anyway, so I started thinking about, well, how can I do a YouTube video? What it boils down to is it's when people email me privately, even through Patreon. If it's a global question, meaning I really feel like I can help a lot of people, it just doesn't benefit me to really go way into depth, going over it with one person privately. I might as well just do it as a series of videos and have like everybody benefit from it, because then 600 people learn from it, or hopefully at least have some entertainment value from it. So anyway, so I started thinking about like where he was at, where most people, what was the simplest thing that I could come up with to introduce people into drawing pages. And so there's many ways to approach drawing pages, and I grabbed 5 comic books just randomly that were in a pile of books in my office. And we're going to look at them in a second. But look, at the bottom line, at its most simplest, point, what you're trying to do is, one, tell a clear story, which you've heard that a million times. It almost means nothing. But the reality is, as an artist, you want to get a reader from up here to down here and flipping the page. Okay? So we're going to look at that more today than actually like a lot of the nuances of storytelling, and you'll see what I mean in a second. I mean, this will be a lot of videos, and a lot of them are going to go on Patreon. I'm not going to lie. I'm focusing most of my energy on Patreon. YouTube will still get attention, but I'll have a link in the description box below for Patreon. But I'm uploading at least 3 to 5 things a day on Patreon. We got sirens going up the street. Rainstorm. We'll let it go by. But yeah, I mean, Patreon is really starting to help financially make this a doable thing. YouTube doesn't. You'll hear that over and over again. It's like, I don't have enough subs, I don't have enough views to really just like, these are empty calories for me doing these videos. But the hope is that people enjoy them and learn from them. I mean, that was what I always came here for. But anyway, so so at its core, the most simplest thing that you want to do is get people from up here to the bottom of the page. So what we're going to look at today is composition and placement of things on pages. So again, I just grabbed 5 random comics from a stack of books that were sort of sitting in a corner of my office. I think this one is, so this is Adam Kubert or Andy Kubert and Jonathan Glapian for the line art. But really what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the placement of things in the panel and how he moves you through it. So we'll just start with this page. I didn't pre-look at this. I have nothing planned. So again, we're going to try to get you from up here to down here, and we're going to see how he uses the placement of objects to move our eye through the page. So the first thing that I see is he has a pretty strong directional line here with some black. And Marcos specifically asked me about spotting blacks on his pages, and he felt that he didn't know where to put black and he didn't know where to put detail. But I showed him a couple of Mignola pages in black and white that I just found on Google. And I put like a little arrow of like where Mignola was directing the eye. So we're going to do that here. So he's directing the eye this way with this shape. All this is taking you to here. This takes you to here, and this takes you down here. This is framed to have you look there. Do you see this? Okay, let's look at it again. And again, this is just compositionally speaking. I'll get into the more philosophical reasonings behind why stuff is the way it is, but strong shapes. It really, like, there's no doubt in your mind what you're looking at. Your eye sticks right here, and then you look at these guys. But when you go here, you know that you're looking at this punch. But then this shows you that this character is involved. You move down here, you're framed right into here, but then he's got the perspective here. And so what I was trying to explain to Marcos was that you have to, or it might be Marco, is you need to keep pulling the reader further and further down the piece. And even with someone like Mike Mignola, the lion's share of that guy's time is spent planning out all this stuff. What it is you're given puzzle pieces. You have 3 things to draw in this first panel. You have a guy on a gurney, and Batman and Robin, or whoever that is. And I don't know all the different versions of all the characters a lot of times. So just excuse my ignorance. But anyway, so what it is you're just basically, you're moving stuff around and you're trying to pick shots that cover this compositional thing that we're looking at right now, which again, if you're roughing this page in, that's the first pass of what you want to do. Is you want to take the objects that you have to draw and place them pleasingly to move through the page. And they talk about the Z pattern, but you know, look, every page is a little bit different. Okay, so this panel is interesting because this sort of ended on this. He brings you to here, this focus with this. So in an interesting way, the page actually stops right here. This is a pause. This is a beat. This is great storytelling. I'm actually very happy that we picked this page first. So yeah, it's really good. It stops you right there and you pause and you kind of go like, wow, okay, this is really interesting. Then brings you to here and then here. And takes you right out of the page. You sweep right out of the page. So that's a very, very nicely designed page. I give that 5 stars. Mr. Kubert, you know your stuff. You learned from one of the best, your dad. We won't look at double page spreads and stuff like that. I don't think that that's going to benefit anyone. Okay, and again, not all pages are going to have the same sort of flow. And I because I was thinking about that like so that what we just saw was one way to do a page, okay? But there's other ways. Hopefully this thing doesn't keep sliding down my desk. Where's my pointer? Okay, so now we're going to look at this page. We'll look at it first, and then we'll kind of like try to decipher maybe what his thought process was. And again, there will be pages that won't have the flow and the killer Z pattern, but we'll try to find problem-solving solutions that they used that worked it out. And I'm already seeing some in here. This is going to drive me nuts. I have a kneaded rubber eraser kind of holding this page up. And we got the glare. All right. So, okay. So we look at Batman. He still has these great shapes that are sending you, again, ultimately to down here. And you see how he takes you right out of the page down here. But anyway. So, I mean, this is kind of a directional shape. And you know, this is the thing, as you manipulate your drawings, you pick the lighting on things, in some cases, to move stuff through the page. He's got this really interesting thing here, and you kind of know, at least, that you're heading this direction. And if we pull back a little bit, he does have a real nice kind of like shape like this. The cape and this curve of the sword, you'll see a lot of artists use things like weapons to direct your eye, you know. And sometimes, look, your character is holding a weapon in the opposite hand and you're not able to. I had a shot that I was doing with a gun, and was it a gun or blood? It was something, and I was like, oh God, if this character was left-handed, this would be perfect. But because he's right-handed, it sits on the wrong side of the page, so I wasn't really able to implement that trick to lead the eye, but that's what you're gunning for if you can do it. And again, because of the situations that were presented with these scripts, it's not always possible. But anyway, so he's got this beautiful shape here that really focuses you in on this face. And again, you've got the curving line of Batman here, this here. You could argue that he kind of curves you here so that you end up seeing this, and then again he's kind of like, it's interesting. So what I'm seeing as a trend on these first 2 pages is he kind of looks at these top 3 panels as one sort of thing, and then we have that pause, like the story sort of ends here, pause beat, and then we get this, which is another kind of stop beat. Whenever you do like a dead-on shot and you have everything like kind of circling around like this is it, man. The reader is going to stop here and look at this. There's no 2 ways about it, because everything is going that way. And again, he's got the swords, kind of pointing towards where he wants you to look. The curve of the mountain takes you to right here, and then boom. And he kind of moves Batman a little bit over this way so that he's nudging you to go to the next piece. All right, so now we're going to look at another comic book artist. So I was going to do 1 page of each artist, but it's okay. We've got some time. Oh, and I wanted to ask too, please let me know what you think would be an appropriate length of time for these type of videos. I don't want them to go too long where you feel overwhelmed, and I also don't want them to be too short where you're always wanting more. We'll try to find a nice balance. So if you can, in the comment section below, let's get a little dialogue going, and then what you like about it, and if you agree or disagree, other things that we can sort of like hash out. So I've got a ton of glare. Some of these comics have real shiny paper. So this is Greg Capullo, Spawn. We don't need to know the credits of the whole thing, but it's Greg Capullo Spawn. Just we'll leave it at that. So first we're going to look at the full page, if I can get the glare off of it for a second. And Greg is a great storyteller. He's one of my favorite comic book artists, really, just of all time. I think he's really good. He's good at all of it. That's the thing is with Greg. He's a great cartoonist. He's great at drawing characters. He's like, his layouts are kick-ass. It's exciting. It's just, he hits all the right notes. So let's see what we've got here. He's got a lot of loopy stuff. So Capullo is definitely more designing at times. I won't generalize everybody. I mean, this guy's drawn thousands of pages. He's probably done a little bit of everything. So let's look at this. What do we got? So the opening panel, nice little sweep here. It takes you right to here. Boom, he circles you right up to Spawn. Do you see this? Yabba. And then this. So he's got a real nice kind of like arc this way too. But yeah, you definitely get a feeling of this that takes you to this. And then this is real nice. And then, it actually kind of pauses here for a moment. And then, boom, you get this nice shot of these two. But he's sliding you down this way, and you're definitely getting a feeling of keep going down, keep looking down the piece. The placement of this is real nice. And then what he does, though, is there's a very nice kind of contrapposta, like, sort of shape going on here. So we'll start from the top. Let me autofocus. Come on. Jump, jump, jump. And then this is real nice, like to here, and then you end up right here. So again, when you're laying out all your little bits and pieces that you need to have on a page, this is what you're working on. This is the first couple of hours of the process, or as long as it takes you. But you look at each panel that you're being asked to draw, and you work out shots that are going to be very appealing together. And what is the most simplest goal? It's to get you from up here to down here. Tell the story clearly. You can get pretty fancy with this stuff. Where storytelling gets unclear is when you can't tell that that's a certain character because you didn't pick enough detail of the costume to really show who it was. If there was multiple characters that maybe had a bit of cape and an arm, unless you were trying to be confusing. Okay, so let's look at this one. Kind of a different page. We'll look at the whole thing real quick first. Again, not all pages are created equal. So, I mean, there's definitely times where some of these more fancy compositions won't work as well. But still, I mean, he drops him right here, which is real nice. And he's got this big shape that frames this guy. and then you kind of like are able to enjoy the whole sprawl of this moment. So, real nice. The word balloon's actually very, very cool that this helps you to hear. You've got this beautiful shape right here that shows you that this is really what you're kind of looking at. And this, he had to be in the panel. I haven't read the story. He could have maybe even had him, for whatever reason, he's not looking at this moment here. Is he? Oh, because he's underneath Spawn. I get it. Sorry, when I'm looking through the camera, sometimes I'm not taking in the full information, but that makes sense. He's still pinned under here, and then he's lifting up Spawn. This is a real nice page. This is a great drawing right here. Man, that is kick-ass. So, again, it's Sam and Twitch in an alley. Twitch is underneath, or I think that's Twitch. Maybe that's Sam. I don't actually know. And then he has to get him out. So that's what he had to draw. And he laid it out real nice. I'm so tempted to do more Capullo, but let's look at these other artists that do different things. So this is John Romita Jr., Captain America. So again, shiny paper. So let's try to take this full piece in real quick. So got the ship up here. The shield is going to be a very, very important storytelling element. And Romita Jr., man, he does real nice layouts. God, this is shiny. Let's see if I can... you can see it a little bit better here. All right, so let me see if you can kind of take in the full page. So I'm doing autofocus. Okay, so here's the full page. So you can kind of already see what's going on based on sort of our little rule book of before. Is the top panel is its own little beat. That's a pause. It doesn't really move you through things, but what ends up happening is that first shield panel at the left top starts kind of what we're paying attention to. So you've got this moment here. This is such a strong shape that you're already immediately going to be sent over this way, and he brings you back around here. Every time, to me, that the shield is straight on, stops my eye. So what he's got is he's got one here, and one here. This one stops you, and then he does this real nice shape here that's going to send you out of the panel. But essentially, it's like you go from here to read this, and it takes you over here. You could argue that this brings you back around. You've got this kind of pause beat here, tight shot of Iron Man. This kind of pulls you this way, pause beat, and out the door. All right, so let's look at just a panel, not a panel page, but one that has all right, well, we'll look at this. So, okay, so we've got this up here, or we'll look at the full page first real quick. This is interesting. He's got you looking this way, which is always, it can fight sort of the direction that you want to go. So anyway, but we've got this pulls you down this way. This is nice with the spear. And, it doesn't really bring you back around. I guess this does. And then this, and you got the little moment. So it's kind of like this is the final little beat. Bank. Okay, so, all right, let's go to something else. What do we got? Oh, it's John Cassaday, Star Wars. John's interesting because he's kind of more Stanley Kubrick. You'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. A lot of like 1 point perspective. But he does it really, really well. So, opening page. Like the classic Star Wars thing is it comes in from this way and starts, get this expansive sort of moment. But when you're looking at it here, John just brings you right down the page, dead center, and it's nice. It works really, really well. It's effective. I'm interested to turn the page and see what's next. So let's do it together. Okay. So he's got the ship here. We'll look at the whole thing real quick first. Oh, nice layout. It's just a nicely designed page. I don't really think that it doesn't maybe have the patterns as much, but this is really, really nice. It feels very comfortable in the panel. It's nicely drawn. You know, we're looking at all this. We got the cool thing, the smoke. And this page does its job. There's some black smoke here. It's a little difficult to see. That maybe was like, if you saw this in black and white, it may have actually had a stronger page design. But anyway, ultimately what he's doing is he's lifting you up out of this lower area and sending you back up. All the design stuff is bringing you back up. So this kind of takes you down here, and then he's lifting you this way. And, you know, a lot of times when these guys tell story, they are very conscious of, and I know Capullo complained about this online, the ad placement was killing his storytelling, because he would, you know, anticipate that, well, page 1 is always going to be on your right side, like this. You know, you open the book, you've got the credits page, or the credits page is here, but this is your opening page. So this is the page 1. Page 2 and 3, you know, is going this way. So when John drew this, he knew that he wanted to bring you up here. And John is a legit storyteller. I know John, and it's a very important part of him. And he's gone into film. So you've got this. This is real nice, actually. It's pretty subtle, but anyway, the pause. You've got this takes you down here. He sends you over here. You get a nice shot of this. You follow this back around, which is interesting. But he's creating his own little pattern. But you know, this is the guy that you want to read. You read the word balloons, and it brings you back over here. And then, you know, the pause beat. It's not a straight on shot, but you're gonna just basically kind of take this all in and head out. All right, let's do another page of this. Hopefully this is fun. What do you guys think? Is this interesting? Is it fun to sort of see? You know, some compositional breakdown. Oh, this next page after this one is real good. So, you know, obviously we're going to stop here. He's going to take you here, and then you get this nice sweep around. And again, sometimes you have to, you know, like, this is all well done. Does it fall into the category of like, whoa, my eye is dancing around the page? It does enough. And it's nice and clear, and you get the thing. But check out this. This is really good, actually. And I'll explain why in a second. So I call this the tumbling characters, or like tumbling. Yeah, I guess figures. But so what he did is he took all these little objects and he brings you down here. So look, we start off with smaller stuff, and it's all kind of like, it's all sort of meeting in the middle, and he sort of brings you right here. Like, you really want to look right here, and he kind of funnels you down. There's like this funnel effect that goes on, and then he opens it up, so it's like you kind of go in and out, and then back in, and then boom, he stops you right there. So you see that? It's like, it's almost like what do you call it? Like diamonds. You know, like you could have it like that, and like that, like that, like that, and he takes you right there. It's very, very nicely designed. Let's do one more Cassidy page, and then we'll call this a wrap for today. Yeah, this kind of almost has the same feel as he has you really like focused on this, and then it brings you down to this middle, and then we go into the panel. So it's like a big Y shape. And then it's like just a perspective pull right into there. Very, very nicely done. Here we go. This, and you can see this is a trend in John's stuff. It's these more XY patterns where he brings you, because of the first person perspective, or 1 point perspective, he tends to like try to lead you to the middle of the page and then fan you out. But you know, this does the job real good. He brings you right to here and there, and then you're out with this. And even that nice circle with the black around it really frames that guy's face really nicely. So, okay, that's some real good examples of different types of storytelling, just to get the ball rolling. Please smash the like, share this if you can. Check out the Patreon. I'm telling you, I'm going to be uploading probably 2, like for every one of these videos that you see on YouTube, you're going to get probably an extra 2 on Patreon was my plan. Real nice Jay Lee cover. Oh, we didn't do the Jay Lee book. Let's do that really fast. I love Jay Lee. Oh, this is the annual, so maybe he didn't draw on the inside. Oh, maybe that page was Kenneth Roquefort. No, that was... Okay, I might have screwed up on the first thing and said it was John Romita or Kubert, and maybe it wasn't. No, I don't think we ever looked at this book. All right, so let's look at this Jay Lee page. All right, so what does Jay do? He's got kind of the Cassidy thing going on. This is real strong things, but man, he really he's just sending you right to this V. Pew, pew. And then he does this dance where it's but that's fun. That's fun for my eye. My eye likes that. It likes the dance. That's really weird. I saw someone do a review of something, and this ad was in that book too. I didn't. Oh, I guess that is the one. Maybe it was a different ad for Forever Evil. Okay, we'll look at this one. Oh yeah, this was kind of the Ozymandias era too, where he was doing some really, really interesting panel layouts. But anyway, so you got this nice shape here. He pulls you down here. Obviously, this is real strong. And kind of a pause beat, but this is really, really interesting. I like how it's black here, and then it takes you to his arm, but this is the negative of this. It's a really, really nice effect. And again, these are the abstracts of layout. It's still it's a fun part of the process if you're into that kind of thing. You're going to be using it regardless, but it's as you've seen just with these few examples, people use it differently. Beautiful shape right here. He's got this framed right here. You know right away, this is so he uses a lot of positive and negative. Dun. It's kind of the opposite of that. And this is real strong. And then these take you here, and then that's real nice. Do you see the long read of what it is? So Marco, that's kind of the stuff that you need to be doing. You need to be spending time on figuring this stuff out better. And you got sort of the big Y, pulls you to here. Again, weapon takes you to here. It's got this, sends you to here. Nice pause beat here, and then he brings you right over to here. So he doesn't send you out the page. I mean, in theory, you could argue that these all maybe work in tandem, and then that you could even sort of read after the fact a little bit, and you know what's going on. They basically have this sort of and then she's out of there. But all right, smash the like. I love you all. This is gonna be good. We're getting into storytelling and the nuts and bolts of all this stuff. All right, have a great day. Bye.